There are over 7,000 recognized languages in the world, but if you ask me, the unifying communication of humans in the 21st century has to be video. Like any other language, it affects how I think and how I interact with the world. The origin of the word is Latin, and it means to see. So what I capture on video and what I experience on my TV affects the reality I experience. And unlike Swahili or Arabic, video is young. There are buildings in Toronto older than video. But I placed the dawn of this new language at the Moy Bridge Horse in 1877. Then humans have been under its growing influence for less than 150 years. That's just a few generations, a few short snaps of the shutter of our history. But so far, nothing I've said really gets to the heart of video. Its essential nature is much more profound. Just before COVID, my aunt sold her house in Brampton, a house I had lived in a few times throughout my childhood. In the basement, cleaning out the cellar, I found a box of videotapes. I took them home, fearing they'd be thrown out, and they sat in storage for years. Until now. Watching VHS tapes isn't easy. I can't bring up an app. My Xbox doesn't have a CD drive, let alone a VHS player. But I recalled borrowing a VCR from my father-in-law, so I hunted it down from under the basement sink, set up a mess of wires on a spare desk in my office, and I hit play. I was greeted by myself, age 3. This is the first video of me, just before my brother was born, in the spring of 1990, more than 30 years ago. Watching it now feels like discovering a window into my past. And I'm left with questions that don't have easy answers. What are his fears and desires? Is the world he sees different than mine? Watching him made me realize I'm incredibly fortunate to access my past in this way. When my mom was in her 30s, she couldn't see what her life was like just hanging around the house. She couldn't hear her voice or watch her child self run around for hours. Her youth is a box with no latch, no key. So this is the power of video. I can open a door to the living past. I met someone else on the tapes. A man that's been dead now for over 15 years. My dad. He makes an appearance when I least expect it. Sometimes he's sitting with us in the den, or he shows up from a business trip and plays football with his sons. Other times he's in the background, doing dad stuff. He's around my age here, yet he seems younger and more spirited than me. As a father myself, I wonder what advice he would have offered. Where would he want to take my daughter on weekends? He seems so close that I could ask him. Video feels alive, but it's a trick of light. Thin, delicate frames of celluloid moving too fast for my eye to notice. But does it matter that video is a trick? Aren't all languages at their core a collection of abstract parts? Some scratches of ink, a warm sound or two that urge me to act? At least I can hold the tape and say, this is where my history was kept. With modern video, it's not so easy. Although consuming video is more convenient and better than it ever has been before, the footage I capture on my iPhone or the movie I watch on Netflix is housed in a series of data centers, walled off to the public. So I have access to the output, but not the source. I can't hold or smell this ethereal matter. Instead, I summon it through translucent screens. Here I am, a 36-year-old father, running around on my only day off, capturing snippets of people staring at their screens. I love video, and I have always wanted to make them. If I complete this video, I'll have accomplished something I've always wanted to do. But why am I making it? We say video will rot our brains, but I'm not so sure. I'm part of the most educated generation in the history of Earth and possibly the beginning of time, and we were raised on video. Some of us received its supplemental light more than the sun itself. It's a pastime without equal. I can watch an endless stream of video everywhere I go. I could watch while my children nap in a stroller, while hanging out with my friends, while posting on a wall. I could even strap video to my head and let it wash over me like a beautiful, multi-dimensional dream.
A lot of you are watching this commercial on a 20-inch TV. Nice, but a little crowded. Some of you have a 26-inch set. Gives you a little more elbow room. Now this is Zenith's new 29-inch television, the big picture, with more picture from corner to corner, plus an incredibly sharp, even larger image. Zenith, Advanced System 3 29-inch television, a size you can get comfortable with. The smart sets, smarter than ever.
Video is one of the only technologies I can think of that's faded just as much as it has advanced. There is more video than ever, but where are all the movie theaters? Some of my favorite places to watch a movie have disappeared. The Eglinton Theatre in Toronto, for example, is now an event space. When I walk up to the ticket booth, I noticed that it's used for storage. And the little theater I used to go to in Orangeville is now a church. As marriage vows and gospel fills old theaters, churches across the city are transforming too. Some of the biggest houses of worship I walk past on my way to get a coffee are now expensive lofts. It feels like people aren't gathering anymore. We're watching our videos on state-of-the-art home entertainment systems, but no one is invited. Video used to mean community.
It really is night and day, honestly. It's a shadow of what it was, is maybe the best way to put it. Fridays and Saturday nights, you would have 6, 7 people working at a time. You would have lineups at the counter with 3 tills going when I started. And it was a meeting place. So the amount of people that would be in your store is crazy, and people would be in there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, not just looking for movies, but also running into other people that they know, friends and that. It was a social gathering as much as anything.
This is Phil. He runs the Old Time Emporium, a movie rental store in Owen Sound. When I was researching this one word, I discovered a 2019 article about an abandoned Blockbuster in Owen Sound. I also discovered that the owner of the last surviving video rental store used to work there. So I got in my car and I drove. The 2 hours or so past the windswept plains and white-boned wind turbines. An impromptu and much-needed road trip. And what awaited me at the end of the journey It was surreal. As a child, Blockbuster embodied a feeling that I've never managed to replace. We'd go there on Fridays, like thousands of families in the 90s, and search for a video that drew us together on the couch. Then, on Sunday or Monday, I'd hop in the Ford Windstar with Mom and return the tape. This benign chore, one that I was glad to be rid of when Netflix arrived, is one of the things I miss the most.
But you don't think twice about putting something on and just having it play in the background, or you're doing 3 other things while you're watching a movie, and you're not really even, you're more consuming it rather than enjoying it.
Looking back on my interview with Phil, I was impressed by his kindness. A stranger with a camera asks him for an interview, and he opens his store early and chats for over an hour.
Do you miss it? Oh yeah, most definitely, yeah. There's a lot of really fun times. I miss, certainly I do this mostly by myself now, so yeah, I miss having the other people around all the time too, and all the different jobs that you would have and the socialization. And
I thought that derelict Blockbuster would be the highlight of the trip, but it turned out to be Phil. He had witnessed how video changed his community and was kind enough to share those stories with me.
Even 15, 20 years ago, like, bars were packed in this town. Like, we had 4 or 5 bars, so every Friday, Saturday night, there'd be lineups to get into bars. And you just don't see that. Like, the streets are basically empty at 9 o'clock on a Friday night and Saturday night now. Everyone is just within their homes, either playing video games or streaming, but yeah, there's not that social gathering sort of thing. And I don't know if it's the chicken and the egg, because we don't have things like Blockbuster or that people don't go out, or whether they've just got into the convenience of, you go to work, you go home, you do your entertainment that way, you do a Zoom chat rather than actually getting together with people. Yeah, there's so much remote stuff. Apparently we're connected more than ever through different social media, but are we really connected?
If all employees at Blockbuster matched his class, then perhaps it was people like him that made the old days of video so nostalgic.
I have conversations with pretty much everyone that's in the store, so they're always looking for recommendations, and you get to know your actual customers and what things they probably would like and what things they wouldn't like, and that too. So you can give them a lot more information than they're ever going to get just swiping. The one thing I can say is I never see anyone upset or angry in my store. Like, everyone has sort of a smile on their face when they walk in. Whether they had it before they walked in or not, I don't know, but there is just that feeling that people get when they walk into the store, and I'll have people that will spend hours in here looking at movies just because it puts them in a happy spot.
The video has grown up, and I along with it. I feel proud of how far it's come, but I'm not sure I fully understand where it's taking me. And I must accept that it's possible what was once special to me about this fascinating and strange language will soon be gone forever. I can stare into screens and smartphones and augmented glasses every waking second. Video transports me across landscapes, through time, and into other worlds. I cannot deny the potent energies associated with that thrill. I can even visit my past and meet the little boy I left behind decades ago. The one who talked endlessly and loved with wide open arms. I forgot about him. I forgot about his life. As I watch the tapes, I remember, little by little. the feel of the carpet in the upstairs den, the subtle comfort of the TV's soft blue light, the peppery scent of Dad's Bay Rum aftershave. But especially how I looked forward to Blockbuster movie nights, because I got to sit down with my family, share an experience, and even more strangely, when the credits rolled, I would hit stop, then rewind, and as the VCR spun, to our everyday world we would return.